Avant-garde! Yeah, we're off to a rocking good start. Greetings and felicitations, assorted children of the internet. I, as always, am the Logician, and today for On a Whim Wednesdays, we're going to be discussing a topic that's somewhat close to my cold dead heart, and that is experimentalist media. Are you dreaming, son? Well, I will be before too terribly long. But before all that, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Like I said, we're going to be discussing experimentalist media. Now, this can mean either art house filmmaking, avant-garde media in general, basically anything that sort of strays outside the norms of any standard of literary or multimedia storytelling to essentially make you stop and think and wonder, just what the fuck am I seeing? What does it mean? What does it mean to me? What does it mean regarding the specific targeted media or subject in question? Well, even to just move us promptly right along and to give us a more, I suppose, textbook definition of what it is I am referring to. Let me see here. Well, you know, I should probably do away with this since it's no longer applicable. At least not for the present time. Here we are. Now, let me even just bring it a little better into frame here. So, avant-garde, in arts and literature, specifically identifies an experimental genre of work or art, work of art rather, and the artist who created it, which usually is aesthetically innovative while initially being ideologically unacceptable to the artistic establishment of the time. Now, one of the easiest examples that one could point to when it comes to any work of art that is labeled avant-garde would be the late, great David Lynch, who many of you may remember for his work in the serialized mystery series Twin Peaks. Though, more often than not, the example that a lot of people tend to look at when it comes to Lynchian media is one of his earliest cinematic works, Eraserhead, from the 70s. And even to give you an example of just what people thought of that particular piece at the time, I figured it would do us well to look at the brief review given to us by the late Siskel and Ebert.
One of the strangest films in recent years seems to be running strongly around the country, and its title is Eraserhead. This was the first work by David Lynch, who went on to make Elephant Man, Dune, and the controversial new film Blue Velvet. Eraserhead is weirder than all three of those films put together. It takes place in a world that maybe looks a little like ours. It has things like steam radiators in it anyway. But apparently this is a different universe, a different world, and it stars John Nance as a frightened man who lives in that world of shadows and evil moments, threats and bizarre visions. To give you an idea of the film style, here's the scene where he goes to his girlfriend's house for dinner.
Do I just cut them up like regular chickens?
Sure, just cut them up like regular chickens.
Charming as well.
There's something really unsettling about the way that tiny little chicken is still alive on the plate, but that's nothing compared to the central scenes in this movie, where the hero and his girlfriend give birth to some kind of lizard monster that cries for the rest of the film until the gruesome ending, after which it doesn't cry anymore. The best thing about Eraserhead is the way it creates an absolutely original, threatening universe. Nothing in this movie seems reassuring or familiar. But one note, by the way, because I watched it just in the last couple of days on video, the movie is shot in a lot of darkness and shadows, and it's hard to see some of the details, if you watch it on video, details that would be clear in a movie theater.
Now, I didn't like the film when it came out. I still don't like it. I'm trying to figure out what is the appeal of it. First of all, it's very confusing to follow, but I'm trying to think that it is more of the college-age crowd that is embracing this film, and maybe
The college-age
they feel
crowd.
so alienated by the world around them that all the threats that are involved in this guy are all the kind of subconscious and sometimes conscious threats that they feel themselves. I mean, they don't identify with this guy as much as they identify with what is coming at him.
I'll tell you what it reminds me of. This film reminds me of a film made 55 years ago called L'Age by Salvador Dali and Louis Buñuel, one of the great masterpieces of surrealism. Both films have very disgusting images shot in a very crude way, in a very surrealistic way. And in the 60s, I think it might have been called a bad trip. Sometimes people want to go on one. It just makes them feel kind of creepy, and that's maybe what they're looking for.
So, yeah, this is the topic of Lynchian media, surrealist media, as, you know, Ebert very much put it, aptly put it even, just discussed on an academic level by people who have studied various schools of cinema, filmmaking, art in general, and are applying what they know, what they have been taught, to unfamiliar territory. People like feeling fucked up, dude, get over it. I mean, a little bit. Honestly, it's sort of, I imagine, a similar feeling to people who watch horror movies because they like the thrill of being scared in a safe, controlled environment. And honestly, a lot of surrealist media can make you stop and think and wonder just what it is you are watching, why you went in to watch it to begin with, and ultimately what your takeaway is going to be from that work with regards to the, well, I suppose, future interpretations of works of fiction that delve into similar territory. For example, anyone who has ever watched Cabin in the Woods or Funny Games might have a different interpretation of horror movies going forward after they've seen those two movies, or even either of those two movies. Now, once again, I need to stress, this is an academic analysis of a Lynchian piece of media. This is me, someone who started out on YouTube essentially critiquing media after being inspired by the likes of the Nostalgia Critic, the Cinema Snob, and others, giving my 2 cents based on what I learned in film courses in college, you know, what I've seen other people break down in YouTube essays, a lot of that sort of stuff. It's very dry, very analytical, taking a piece of art and putting it under a microscope and looking for specific meaning where there might not necessarily be any. But I would argue that more importantly than that is what your typical moviegoer would take away from this type of experience. Thankfully, we have access to those types of reactions. For example, these people who walked straight the fuck out of Eraserhead after the fact and gave their immediate thoughts.
Beats the hell out of me. I gotta think about it for a while.
So people want to give you a card? Did you?
Oh, I thought it was the ultimate suspense thriller. I kept waiting for something to happen, and it never did.
Very entertaining. Very lively film. Gosh, it was the best thing I've seen all year.
Bizarre.
Some inane, bizarre person with a disturbed mind wrote that film, and I did not enjoy it. I enjoyed it very much. My kind of movie.
Eraserhead is a unique motion picture experience. I recommend it to everyone.
I liked it. I've seen it 5 times.
It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
It's very good acting, but I've seen it 8 times, and that's about enough. This time I interpreted it as a nightmare, this time. I thought there were other meanings, but now I'm not sure, really. I compare it to early Fellini, but I like Fellini better.
The most intense thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I thought it was an intelligently made, compelling nightmare about the repressed sexuality of Henry Spencer. That was his name, right? Henry Spencer. And
So notice, pretty much every single person who walked out of that theater had a different takeaway regarding the movie, its meaning, and just how much it resonated with them. And here's the thing, none of them were wrong. None of them were correct, and none of them were incorrect. That's the thing about art, and especially very surrealist, experimentalist art. I don't think there's ever going to be any one directly correct response to it. Because, like, here's the thing. It took me a long-ass time and several videos up on my original YouTube channel to fully understand this. But there is no such thing as an objectively good or bad work of art. Ultimately, it is going to be left up to interpretation as to how good or applicable a work is, whether it's in application to the individual or an entire society or culture. Everyone is going to have some different takeaway. We can have people who agree with, roughly similar guesstimates as to what the meaning behind a work of art is going to be. But ultimately, we're never going to know, and ultimately, it kind of doesn't matter what the original intention of the artist was. Because the point of art is not to find an answer. The point of art is to come up with something that feels most applicable to our individual lives and has meaning for us specifically. I mean, anyone who knows anything about David Lynch will tell you that he would never fucking reveal anything regarding the actual meaning of anything he put out into the world. Like, there are famous clips where people would say, "Hey, would you explain Eraserhead to me?" And he would just say, No, I'm not doing it. Like, and the thing is, with David Lynch having relatively recently passed away, even if there were some vague facsimile of a chance that he might give his own interpretation of, like, what the original meaning behind any of his works was, he took those secrets with him. And honestly, I feel like that is, in fact, for the best. I have my own history with experimentalist avant-garde filmmaking. For anyone who remembers my original YouTube channel and the content I put up on there, one may recall that one of the movies I reviewed before I stopped reviewing movies, in fact, it was the last review I ever made, was a review of Alejandro Jodorowsky's The Holy Mountain. Now, anyone who is familiar with Alejandro Jodorowsky will know that he was, and I guess technically still is, a controversial filmmaker. The very first film he ever debuted, which was at a Mexican film festival, I believe, was so poorly received it caused a fucking riot. And from there, his films would only get more and more experimental. And in the trailer for The Holy Mountain, which I believe was the third in his line of feature-length films, the trailer itself described the film as beyond the boundaries of criticism and review. And me, spiteful motherfucker that I am, took that as a challenge. It's very much the same reason I decided to do a full reaction series to Saban's Masked Rider. Because a friend of mine, Falero, tried watching it and couldn't really get past the first couple episodes. So, yeah, even just to briefly touch on what it is I'm referring to, let me pull up the trailer for Alejandro Jodorowsky's The Holy Mountain. Let me see here. I think this will do just about nicely. Okay.
You want to know the secret. They speak of holy mountains.
Oh, this is a newer trailer.
Mortal men live on top of the mountain.
So yeah, no, this is more one of those retrospective, this is a lost classic sort of trailers. What I'm looking for specifically is the original trailer. Because I have a point to make here. Let me see here. And I know this is ultimately sort of inconsequential to the larger scope of what it is we're going to be talking about today, but just hear me out. Alright, here we go. I believe this is the OG trailer. Let me see. Here we are. Yeah, this is the trailer.
Nothing in your education or experience can have prepared you for this film. Alejandro Jodorowsky's The Holy Mountain.
Even down to the pronunciation of his last name there.
The Holy Mountain is a film completely outside the entire tradition of motion picture art. It is outside the tradition of modern theater. The Holy Mountain is a film outside the tradition of criticism and review.
There it is. There's the fucking line that prompted essentially the end of my reviewing career. That is Jodorowsky himself, by the way. So, yeah.
Review it again.
Oh, God. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even necessarily be against a retrospective re-review of The Holy Mountain. I suppose, knowing all I know now. Because, I will put it very politely, I was not kind to this movie when I watched it. And the comment section, in turn, was not kind to me. Because this movie was celebrated as an untouchable masterpiece, and because I deigned it anything but, the entire community behind its support came after me in droves. But that is an entirely different story. But somewhat relevant, I promise, because the main bulk of tonight's stream is going to be a game taken once again from the collection of games assembled by my mod Cochet. And I swear this does have something to do with Jodorowsky's The Holy Mountain, because I do believe during some of the production process of The Holy Mountain, Jodorowsky and his wife, who aided in some degree or another in the production of the film, spent multiple days ongoing without any sleep. And fun fact, multiple scientific studies have found that prolonged periods of sleep deprivation have the same effects on the human brain as taking dosages if you're speaking English, of LSD. Now, all of that brings us to the subject of tonight's stream, which is LSD Dream Simulator. Specifically, the revamped, modded version of the game. Now, I know next to nothing about this game, except that it was supposedly developed by a man who took direct inspiration from a dream journal that he kept for multiple days. Each day or level in this game, to my understanding, is directly inspired by a dream that the original creator, over the course of 10 years, kept a journal of their dreams, and eventually adapted that into a video game. And what we are about to play is a fan-made recreation of it. I don't fully understand exactly what it improves upon the previous version of the game, but it was recommended to me that I play this version, so that is in fact what we are going to do.
Crush the game and snort it.
Well, already we are off to an interesting start. Okay. Right at the gate, I'm getting similar vibes to, oh, I guess I'm running now. Walking into anything sends you to another dreamscape. I see. Also, how is the volume on this game? Because it's a bit loud for me. I might want to turn it down just a little bit. There we are. That's a little better for me. I do hope that it's a bit easier for you to hear me now. Oh, so these settings are not in the original. Okay, so, yeah, probably for the best that I did opt to go with this new and improved version, I suppose. Oh, and something I appreciate here, it looks like they include the name of each track in the game when it is playing. So, you know, I can appreciate that. You know, classic trope of the creepy twins in a more traditional Japanese setting. But instantly I am reminded of Ina Dream Barbecue, or Enna Dream Barbecue, whichever interpretation you prefer. If you see a man in a gray hat, he resets your progress. Interesting. Okay. Well, that is good to know. Huh. Oh. Well, I mean, the Foot Clan joke is easy enough to make, so I'll spare it. Yeah, no, I'm getting massive Dream Barbecue vibes from this. Goal is to fill out the chart with different dream styles. Dynamic, static, upper, downer, and he erases all the marks on the chart if he touches you. I see. So the man in gray is going to be someone I have to avoid. Okay. So apparently interacting with people initiates a new dream sequence as well. Oh, hello. Huh. Interesting aesthetic. Now, anyone who remembers my stream of Ina Dream Barbecue, by this point probably recalls me immediately forming theories as to the direct purpose and meaning of the ongoing, I mean, admittedly loose enough narrative in that game. Here, because these are directly inspired by dreams, I feel like a lot more is going to be left up to interpretation. I mean, obviously the same could be said of Ina, but honestly, I feel like that at least had more of a cohesive message, rather, in mind. Whereas this directly took from the scripting, quote-unquote, of a dream. Now, let's see here. Well, you know, might as well. Upper, downer, interesting. Static, dynamic. Now, I suppose the question is, does this mean I failed the level? Oh, I guess, no, it just ends there. Day 2. You cannot fail? Okay. Well, unfortunately, I do not speak fluent Japanese, so this is all going to be lost on me. Maybe it's in the options? It's randomized completely. Okay. Does not seem to be a language option. So I suppose I can always check back on what the meanings behind those messages are later. Okay. Well, I suppose this might very well be a climbing dream. Or not? Okay, so this is grass. Okay. Admittedly, I thought we were in another slime level. Alright. I'm even trying to think of what this music reminds me of. Like, outside the music made by, you know, Koshé themselves. Okay, so we're in some kind of bathhouse, I think. Oh. Nearly. I have lost control over my ability to move properly. I am being led down the stairs against my will. Now the question is that due to something... Oh, okay, no. It auto-moved me up here, I think. That took me by surprise, I'm not gonna lie. Interesting. So it essentially takes control away from me for the stairs. That is fascinating. I mean, I suppose something could be said about, you know, that being one of those automatic sensory things we just kind of do out of instinct, just going up and down stairs. Never had that happen to you before. I mean, it's also possible that this could be something distinctly unique to the revamped version. Yeah, it even moves the camera on its own to go up and down the stairs. Let's see here. Okay, so we have what appears to be a library over here. with a chimney. Unfortunately, I don't think I can interact with any of these books. There's also the ability to point the camera up and down, but I can't remember. Well, I know that this turns my head up. Okay, so that turns my head down. Okay. Now, a fun fact about me, which I'm sure will be a source of frustration for many people here, I refuse to play any video game with mouse and keyboard, so I am playing this on my Steam controller. Which, I'm not sure how much that may necessarily detract from the experience, or at least the intended experience, but it's just how I prefer to play games. Having grown up as someone whose predominant memory of video games growing up has been on consoles and with console controls. This was originally a PS1 game, was it? Interesting. It was never imported to the US? I see. Alright, so we're back in this village now. I will say I very much am enjoying this soundtrack. Like, reminds me very much of, like... I wouldn't even necessarily call it something like, oh, well, things are going white. I guess that's just the end of that day. This is literally the game all you do is witness shit and walk into shit. Fair enough. Alright, so we're back at the slime pools. With those dragons over there. The music is somewhat different from what I can recall. Oh, okay, so this isn't slime. Well, so... I guess I was worried for nothing. I guess my brain defaulted to video game logic and just assumed, well, you know? The PlayStation can in fact produce mind-boggling effects. Then again, I suppose it is very much in the name. Okay, now this is an interesting effect. Like, I mean, unfortunately, because of the way they handled the PNGs here, you can sort of... The magic of the illusion is somewhat lost with the coroners on these PNGs here. But honestly, I feel that sort of adds to the charm of this. There's also something oddly satisfying about the... like, the sort of water cooler sound effect coming from these two sumo wrestlers here. Mastering their craft. And anyway, into the Viscera Tunnel. You know? I mean... Also, I love how from the other room I can hear Lorelei say, "Don't put that in your mouth," while we are making our way through the ingestion junction over here. I'm going to hazard a guess that whatever goal... Well, I was going to say maybe the goal would be acquired by means of following the red light, but then again, I think that might just be a shading effect. With whatever is furthest away. Oh, did I just bounce off of the walls here? Yeah, I don't get sent off to the next dream realm through this. Yeah, no, I just run into it. It's fascinating. that's the thing. Sometimes you really gotta grind your face into it, you know? To each their own, I suppose. Now, if I can work my way back to our friends up here. Oh. Well, they don't necessarily seem to mind my presence here. Oh. Until they did. You know? Really hasn't been the same since 9/11. Gentlemen, as you were. Okay, I'm seeing at least a modicum of what we're getting at here. You know, I feel like a Don Quixote joke would be very apt there. It's Nose Piss, my favorite Pokemon. Let me even just see who's responsible for this one. BGB Electro, outside director's company. I wonder, does this imply I can change the music? Oh, I can change the music. Okay. That's a fun little feature. Just guys being dudes. Don't mind me, gentlemen. The music tends to be the same couple of tunes at different BPMs. That absolutely tracks. Oh, so we're back out here again. Okay, so I'm guessing we have maybe around, I guess, remixes of 5 or so maps where we're spawned at different points. Huh. See, the funny thing about this, and I keep trying to place what it is this music reminds me of, game-wise. Like, outside of what I have heard from, again, Koshei's own musical work, which, if you've not heard it, I highly recommend checking it out. You can find it on their YouTube channel, among other places online. Oh, okay. So yeah, like, this already is dipping into somewhat of what I was discussing earlier when it comes to no right or wrong interpretation of a work of art, especially experimentalist art. Because once again, this is all built around the rough, approximate foundation of a person's dream journal. So there could be a plethora of takeaways to any of this. Even just the fact that I myself chose to go towards the nearest, I suppose, sign of human intervention, which was that bridge there. Because as humans, we are sort of trained to just instinctively guess that a bridge means we're on the right path to somewhere or something. Huh. Now, I guess the question is, can I go into the water? Okay. The fact that I'm also even asking whether or not I can go through water is a sign in and of itself that my logic is being actively shaped by preconceived notions of what can and cannot be accomplished in a video game. Because this level here is a prime example of that already. I spawned on a path which told me, oh, more than likely I can only walk on this set path. But that was quickly enough disproven once I got to my second round in this level. Because a path, once again, implies purpose. Or at the very least, human intervention and meaning. Our sumo friends are now gone. So that raises the question whether there's any new openings in this flesh tunnel here. I suppose question then for all of you watching, assuming there are in fact that many of you watching, would any of you when you were younger, when you were going through a tunnel on a family trip, hold your breath? Because it was an ongoing joke in my family when we were taking family trips. Not that any of us actually believed it, mind you, but it was just a fun little thing that basically told us, oh, if you hold your breath the entire time we're going through a tunnel, you can get a wish granted. I suppose it's just one of those fun little things to do to kill the time during a longer road trip. So it's just to sort of break up the monotony of an otherwise dull drive. Interesting. Okay. Oh, well, I guess we can't go through that water. Alright, this time we have arrived at the roof of this building. And instantly it's leading me down the stairs. Now I wonder, I think I've seen this portion of the map before. Maiko girls? I feel like there's a strong, at least a strong enough chance that were I Japanese, I might be able to get that reference there. But yet again, that also sort of comes down to an assumption on my part. Apprentice level geishas. I see. Funnily enough, seeing this reminds me of that giant Buddha statue that I saw the other day when Koshei introduced me to the film Kamikaze Girls. Which, once again, if you have not seen it, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's quickly become one of my new favorite movies. Oh, interesting. Well, I mean, I suppose feudal-looking Japan, we're gonna run into ninjas at one point or another. Actually, no, not ninjas so much. Oh, well, shuriken. They may in fact be ninjas. With the distinctive kabuki theater mask. I unfortunately can never remember what these figures are called with the long red noses. I do know that they are very often associated with corvids, or at least some other types of bird. But yes, I believe they are meant to be some sort of... Tengu, that's what it was. Interesting. But yes, that's what it was. Thank you, Koshei. Yeah, Tengu are often sort of depicted with those long-nosed red masks. And definitely one of those more popular archetypes portrayed in kabuki theater. Which I unfortunately... It certainly is! Hello, Carl! Welcome to LSD, Dream Simulator. This is our entry for this week's foray into, I guess, an academic analysis of the topic of experimentalist media. We were playing a game that was supposedly built upon the foundation of 10 years of the game designer's dream journal. Ah, so that's the gray individual I believe I was warned of. But yes, all the levels here are loosely based on dreams, kept from the dream journal, dream diary, whichever you want to call it, of the game's lead developer here. And this was apparently a PS1 game that was never fully released in the West, for reasons I'm sure you can probably imagine. Okay. And, every day of dreams we complete, we fill out another panel, as it were, or pixel, of this map here. You know, I might actually even just lower the volume a bit more. So once again, unfortunately, since I cannot read this, it's one of those things I'm going to have to look into after the fact. You know? As you were. Man, we've only just ended Saban's Masked Rider, and already we're seeing Double Face again. Actually, might as well see what's on the other side of this tunnel. Oh. Interesting. Well, it doesn't seem like anything was chasing it. Alright, and so we're back to this bridge. And that in and of itself is an interesting sound effect for crossing a bridge. Sending you some rough translations because I found a sort of decent image translator. Okay, interesting. Steam Deck froze up right after I raided. Honestly, that is kind of perfect, thematically speaking, Carl. Imaginary raid. Yes, hello, hermano. You raided the Logician. You didn't see anything. Oh. That appears to be the Gray Man yet again. Now, I was warned by Cochet that if you run into that Gray Man in the hat, he will instantly undo all of your progress in the game. I'm getting along just fine, or at least just about as fine as I can, Carl. Okay, so it looks like I have a translation here for, I believe it was the last kanji message that was on screen. He is Hope. A red demon sits in front of A and Un, who are guarding the temple gate. The couple had a boy named Taro. He saw the Red Ogre's opportunity and jumped into the swirling stream of time in front of the temple gate to escape. He is Hope. He's usually always floating towards you. Interesting. Yeah, no, he's been predominantly... Well, I mean, I saw him walking once, and then the next time he was fairly stationary. It could be that even the way the Gray Man behaves has been revamped. Hello, Pusea. Welcome to Dream Simulator. Or I suppose LSD, as it's more popularly known. Oh, nope, this is a different... No, these are the two who were playing ball from the beginning. Oh. Well, it looks like his companion is no longer with us. Never heard of it. Not surprising, considering this was evidently a PS1 game that was never ported over to the States. The only reason I know of it is because it's being entrenched in Umeniki. Like I'm not already that old. Well, it never hurts to clarify, Pusea. I know you're just about as old as I am. Which is to say, a hag by the internet's terminology. Okay, so back outside. LSD Dream Simulator was a very big inspo for Yume Nikki, and oh yeah, just calling people a hack. Listen, I myself fall under that category as well, Alex. You can't use that shit on me. Okay, so more figures here. Interesting. Alright, well, you take care, Carl. Thank you for dropping by. And as always, I do very much welcome lurkers. Now, let's see. What is next? Now, I could be mistaken. This could very much just be a case of me having overlooked this. But I can't help but wonder if both these buildings had these logos on them before. I do remember seeing the building's red logo on this one. I don't remember the yellow/gold one, but could just be me having not noticed the yellow one. Oh. Cannot tell if that is the music or... Oh! Oh no, that's the Tengu again. Oh, looks like we can go inside this building. Oh, not much to do in here. Welcome to the most high-octane gaming action. I mean, I suppose my commentary on that even just sort of is calling me out on my expectations of what it means for a door to be open in a videos game. Because you go into any building in a video game, that means, oh, well, they gave it a door and they made it openable, as it were. You must be able to find something that can help you in there. But no, it's just here. It's just a part of the world. Much like any of us are. Anyone could easily be interpreted as an NPC in the story of any other person's life. Sort of raises an interesting philosophical question about, well, what good are you if you're not any use? Which is an unfortunately very real mindset that many people have regarding other human beings. That's the thing about all 3D games. There's just empty rooms because I'm different, but you do you. Professional love interest. Gosh. Okay. So now we're in a reskin of that temple area. It because of the distinct nature of the the texture they're choosing for this. The brick walls are sort of, especially at a distance, delving into the territory of what one Mr. Vinny Vinesauce might describe as clown vomit. Oh, hello. Pink elephants on parade, off they go hippity-hoppity. They're here, and they're pink elephants on parade. And they do have a pinkish hue to them. You gotta touch those? Well, unfortunately, I think I missed my opportunity. I'll keep that in mind for the next time I see the pink elephants. Oh, hey. So we're back here. This feels like why my fever dreams would be. Well, I mean, once again, Pasea, that is essentially what's going on here. This game is based off of the entries in the developer's Dream Diary, collected over the course of 10 years, if I remember correctly. There's an extra downer dream because you missed out on an elephant, you know? I suppose if I really wanted to stretch things here, analytically speaking, that could even be commentary on the fact that, oh, I missed my fucking my downer substance. I missed my champagne. I missed my pink elephants, and therefore I'm gonna get a downer dream. Alright, this time I'm going the fuck after this horse. So this is that horse game everyone's been so fucking obsessed with as of late. I understand now. Off they go. Literal nightmare. Ah, my word. Monarch of all I survey. And honestly, I'm not surveying much. Ah, my word. Have you tried falling off a cliff? Not on this map, no, admittedly. Well, I suppose when in Rome. Or I suppose Sparta would be the more accurate analog here. Alright. Okay, who set off the fucking gender reveal smoke? Here I was thinking, don't fall into a cliff. I mean, that's just it, Pasea. This game seems to challenge you on a lot of preconceived notions regarding video game mechanics and goals. Speaking of, let's take a look here. Monkey. Gender reveal nuke. I mean, you joke, Koshe, but given... I believe it was a substantial fire that spread last year, all because some asshats decided to have a gender reveal party in California. A fire that took the better part of a week to put out, if memory serves. Just goes to show you, kids, the gender binary hurts everyone. See, the funny thing is, like, even just controlling this game is giving me some memories of playing Spectre on my parents' old Mac Classic. For the uninitiated, Spectre was a very simple polygonal tank shooter, and of course, as soon as I invoke an old computer game... Huh! Well, I'll be damned. I guess the question is... Never heard of a Mac Classic? Well, I imagine they don't really have many of those in fucking Monster Island, as I like to call your particular neck of the woods, Pasea. Now, initially, my dumbass thought that maybe the blue lines were signifying where it'd been, but I think those are just creeks and pools. I wonder what happens if I walk into it. Not much of anything. Oh, well, I take that back. Okay. So, Koshe, if you were able to provide a translation for this screen, that would be much appreciated. Leave you and your monster family alone. Friendly folk sometimes. I suppose when you're not pillaging villages, yes. Ah, my word. But yes, do let me know when you're able to pull off a translation of this, Koshe, that because I feel like I might be missing out on some crucial info. Oh, well, there, speak of the devil. 9th floor. The 9th floor of the apartment. In the Japanese-style room, there's an old lady who used to live nearby. She's half crazy. He's saying a lot of bad things. Even when I ask questions, they don't seem to hear anything. Okay. So that could either be interpreted as... yeah, the game, I got you, Blue. So what I'm taking away from that is either that's just sort of a direct reference to... Oh. Okay. I guess we've gone from Ina to FMV hell. This is a special kind of hell for me, for anyone who knows my history with pigeons. They're coming for you. I mean, even across multiple timelines, some things never change, I guess. But yeah, some of the direct text instances, I suppose, could be interpreted as, like, maybe they're dreams, maybe they're peeks into the dreamer's everyday life. Alright, so 2 of these guys now. Are you going to join your buddy? How do you have trauma from pigeons? Well, funny story, Alex. You see, ages and ages ago, I was taking a day trip to New York City because I had some family that lived in New York State. There's a horse again. And at one point during the day trip, we went to the Empire State Building. And we went to the 87th floor, which is the observation deck. Yeah, I'm just going to jump off. And I had my camera out at the time. And so I was taking pictures, taking video footage, you know, in case I ever wanted to do anything with that footage for, like, maybe just, like, I don't know, a memories vacation video thing. And while I was taking footage, I saw a pigeon that was perched on the safety railing, or the safety gate, on that floor of the Empire State Building. And so I started recording, I zoomed in, and I said the word pigeon. I learned a very valuable lesson in that moment. Apparently, New York pigeons are not particularly fond of being addressed by name. Because the moment I said pigeon, this bird just instantly turned to face in my direction, spread its wings, and swooped down, body slamming the top of my head and knocking me flat on my ass. And because I let out a bit of a yelp and fell right down, this alarmed a good number of people. Because keep in mind, this was New York City post 9/11. And someone is freaking out on top of a popular tourist destination. So I had to be the one red in the face to explain to everyone there that I'd just been bodied by a pigeon. Now, that would be bad enough. Fast forward 2 or 3 years later, I'm visiting some mutuals in Seattle, Washington. And we were walking around the marketplace. Just taking in the sights, catching up. We're just shooting the shit. And I look forward, and, you know, the market's generally crowded, you know. The crowd part's just enough for me to see, a good few yards away from me, a pigeon just standing there in the street, looking me dead in the eye. I stop dead in my tracks. I take 1 step back. The pigeon takes 1 step forward. And at this point, I'm thinking, there's no fucking way. There's not a goddamn chance in hell. I take another step back. This bird spreads its wings, speeds forward, and I just barely manage to duck out of the way before I can body slam my head again. So either this motherfucker followed me from New York, or one of his relatives from New York phoned him up and said, "Listen, we got Tisha's guy, listen, he'll never forget." So ever since then, I have not trusted a single fucking pigeon I've come across. Oh, God. Why does this feel like the fucking nursery from Wobble Dogs? Like, down to the fucking playroom mat. Like, it's that specific type of, like, playroom mat where, like, it's arranged in a set of puzzle pieces, but they're made of foam. So you can take them apart as you see fit. Hello. Oh, that's just my footsteps. Huh. I wonder. It's an indie first-person horror game? I mean... Now... Maybe I'm thinking too much, but this looks like an arrow, and this looks like a path. But then again, that looks impassable. Oh, looks like I'm not able to make my way over there. I can get hit by a train here if I want. Oh. Generosity knows no bounds. Well, let me see if I can find the aforementioned train first. Oh, well, I found blue again. Interesting. Our double-faced friends are nowhere to be found, so... You know what? Fuck the horse. I'm going to go in the direction it ran from. See, funnily enough, this track makes me think of those levels with, I guess, Shadow Mario from Super Mario Sunshine. You only sleep once. Ah, my word. Okay, back to the village. I see we're going with the cyan, magenta, yellow color scheme for this stream. Oh. A friend. Oh. Like a bat out of hell. Okay. No, I mean. Let's see if Amaterasu here has, oh, well. I wonder. Doesn't seem to be another dog coming just yet. I'm admittedly curious to see if anything has been added to the inside here. Does not appear so. Oh, well. I keep landing on that nose. Oh. Well, we're back in here. Only this time it's been touched up by the Magenta clan, as it were. God, it's the fact that I keep grazing the ceiling. Like, when I reach that part of the staircase. Specifically with the, like... It's like... Ow, ow, oh, oh, oh. This is one of those reminders of, oh yeah, I'm 6'2". Okay. Haunts. Oh, 2 haunts. Do not believe I was fast enough. Alright, day 20. Oh, hey! I spawned inside one of the houses. Hormt. Something seems to be under construction over here. Oh, hello. I can deny it no longer. I am small. Seems to be a growing percentage of magenta-themed levels here. Hello? Well, you know what? I'm flattered, but unfortunately you're not my types. Touch them? Well, I mean... suppose I'll humor them. And the clown vomit continues. Oh, was that the train tracks? Oh, well, I mean... let's see where this leads. Presumably to a train, but... you never can tell with dreams. Huh. You know? The fuck train has no brakes. Well, you know what? I think I solved the mystery of why everything's getting so saturated with the cyan, magenta, yellow color schemes, paired with the squiggly lines here. We're gradually getting phased into the intro to Saved by the Bell. Well, we have reached a literal crossroads. I mean, surely if I stay here, something will happen eventually. The question is the game going to be patient enough with me to let that happen? Don't think it's a guaranteed thing, but sometimes you do run into a train. I see. I might as well give it a minute. Up. Oh, something has transpired. Hat? Oh, is the hat guy here? Oh! So he is. Well, I suppose that is in fact my cue. Go slap your nuts on something. You know what? Hello. Well, I mean, to quote an old racist stereotype, I've done seen about everything when I've seen an elephant fly. You know, from the famous Disney Tengus. Oh. Well, let me see if I can't meet Dumbo up close and personal here. Oh, I may have missed my opportunity yet again. Well, I can always meet them on the other side. Yeah, I was gonna say, they may very well go all the way across. Friends, Romans, pachyderms, lend me thy ears. You know? I suppose they weren't entirely keen on listening. Okay, so we have another one of these. So I will leave this open for you to translate for me, Cochet, for which I am very greatly appreciative. You know, there is a lot to potentially be taken away from all of this. I'm honestly just along for the ride. I mean, I will interject every now and then with my own personal interpretation. But given that we are dealing predominantly with a number of rotating levels with minor tweaks here and there, and those changes are supposedly entirely random, there's only so much I can speculate on, meaning-wise. Okay, let's see here. Strange person. Around an artificial square pond stand strange figures with snake bodies and human heads, wearing feathered hats and woven vestments like medieval nobles, and carrying large cups. I place a large stone on the strange person's slender body, immobilizing him. This is just the plot to Sonic Adventure. Honestly, depending on when this came out, would have been ahead of his time. Some of these are entries from the Dream Journal just presented as is. That is also entirely fair. I mean, I suppose if the developer limited themselves to just a set number of levels, it would make sense that he'd save things that stray too far from it. As purely text-based excerpts, I suppose. Now, let me see. And, oh, there are the elephants. I keep forgetting what side they appear from. Hey, Dumbo, got a second? You know, I asked a simple question. You didn't have to be so rude about it. Quite frankly. Huh. You know? Yeah, I guess Mewtwo Elephant was not feeling particularly keen on my, getting in the way of his plans. Now, the elephants appear to be gone. Well, they sacrificed so much, I might as well chip in as well. Oh. New territory. Interesting. Shall we dance? La 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 la. Well. Oh. Sorry, was I cutting in? Oh. Interesting effect. Not sure if that was intentional. But, I mean, so long as you're not using the seat. Sorry, I hate to inform you. You got a little something right, just, you'll figure it out. You know, who am I to critique? Oh, are you moving? No, you're pointing in that direction. Oh, train tracks again. Oh, that arrow is going apeshit. Huh. Well, back to the elephants. Or not. Or so. Hi again! You know, we need to stop meeting like this. You know, it's... You look like you're going through a rough time, and I can appreciate that, but quite frankly, I'm sick of working around your schedule. The head store. I do recall running into my friends, the sumo wrestlers, here once before. Oh, now we are back to the Monument Garden. Fate worse than death. Going to Great Britain. I don't remember getting a good look at all of these guys, though. London Bridge, the pyramids, Sphinx. Oh, well, we have a door. Oh. We have a newer village now. You know? I guess to each their own if they want to ignore the laws of gravity. That is their prerogative. Oh, taiko drum. The funny thing is, I have a strange relationship with taiko drums because in one of my D&D campaigns we have a character who is literally named Taiko. And they're very much one of those, like, ADD children who is very much is like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm happy to contribute to the next thing that happens. Now, you take a character archetype like that and make them a magical girl, and you've got an interesting setup for some shenanigans. Now, are we back to our games of catch? Evidently so. Looks like your play partner is still no longer with us. But you know what? Best of luck to you. Maybe you'll pick up hacky sack. You know, bringing new meaning to Screamo as a genre, I suppose. You know? You good there, buddy? You know, you seem content, so I'll leave you to your business. Oh, so we have the dogs here again. Well, maybe it's time I paid respects. I keep arriving dead set in the middle there. And back to the magenta room. Well, you know, it's been a while. Maybe I'll try going upstairs again. After all, who knows what renovations they've made to the roof. Hello? Wakey, wakey, it's time for school! As you do. You know, I was gonna say, expected a lot from this game. The Hamilton logo was not among them. Stick figurified somewhat, but all the same. Tell me I'm wrong. Let's get out of the fucking squeaky zone here. Fog so thick I feel like I'm back in Humboldt. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, therefore I am. You know? Why not live dangerously? You know? Stroll through the Zen garden. As you do. Do hope they will forgive me for messing up their raking job over here. Bet you can fix one of those rocks in your ass. Are you speaking from experience, Cochet, or is this speculation? Extremely powerful. You know, I suppose power is subjective. And this is the go even further beyond, etc., etc. I feel like a big part of what this game is trying to do is encourage experimentation regarding what all you can interact with. So once again, now I am actively attempting to move on to the next area. And it's sort of forcing me to think, well, what all could I potentially run into here? Maybe I could return to Monkey by climbing one of these trees. Okay, this is just uncalled for. You know, unless Budo is feeling particularly cutesy this day and wanted a new makeup job, then you know what? Good for them. Good for them. antenna there. Once again. Making our way downstairs, walking fast. I'll end up getting a concussion. Okay, guess time's up. You know? Oh. Well, I guess we'll never know. Newt newt, as the children say. Alright, chat, keep your eyes out for those 8 pages. Pengu's old people, shouldn't you know it? Pengu's making a comeback! I mean, I would argue that more and more people are becoming aware of Pengu due to TikTok, but then again, TikTok is becoming increasingly irrelevant, so... My nieces says that darn chat word, you know? That absolutely tracks. Very goblin core. There's this again. Oh. Return to Pengu. Don't mind me. Just seeing what all the fuss is about. Is this the latest TikTok dance? If you don't mind teaching me, I'd be happy to... Oh, yeah, no, that's what I thought. Rejected by the youths yet again. Alright, let's see if the happy couple has figured anything out on their own. Nope, well, counseling can only go so far. Alright, I'm cutting in. Now listen. First of all, you don't always have to lead. Second of all, the secret's gonna lie in finding the prostate. Don't ask me what that means just yet. I've already set you off on a good path. You'll figure the rest out on your own. And listen, I gotta implement my psychology degree somehow, alright? Those two are clearly skating around the issues at hand. I simply gave them a starting line. Alright, what the fuck are you all about? Alright. I don't believe I've had an opportunity to fully explore this area just yet, outside of that brief sprint down the road. Huh. The Violence District? Well, I mean, God forbid I run into Theodore Tugboat down here. Then I'm fucked 6 ways from Sunday. Damn. You don't have to be so rude about it. Oh, well. Is it bad that I was half expecting a credit sequence there? Alright, so we're back to this now. No brainy boys. Think expecting anything from this game is futile? Yeah, no, I can agree with that. You fuckers. You know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna meet you on the other side of the bridge. Well, so much for that plan. I'm going swimming. Actually, no. No, I haven't been to this level in a hot minute. I'm going to enjoy myself. I am actively choosing to go against the grain and the expectations of this Dr. Seussian gloop on the ground. And I'm going to find my own fulfillment. You know? Fucking cells at work looking paint job. Feel like I stepped into Gygas's library. Is it bad that you were expecting a jump scare? Well, I mean, honestly, given the nature of dreams, Pasea, I guess more like gay ass. Well, I mean, listen, we don't know what Ness is all about. Huh. No horses this time. Actually, I wonder. There's 2 jump scares in this game. I can't remember how to activate either of them. I'm going to assume that one of them might be tied to our friend in gray somewhere. First and foremost, though, does not appear to be any sign of those horses. Surprisingly, no? Okay, so he just fucks up your progress. Well, you know. At that point, he's just being inconsiderate. We tried the flavor of that tree. Let's try you. Alright. I guess you're my flavor of choice then. Nope. Okay. Oh. This could very well just be right back where I started, but... Oh, not quite. One is a thing flying out at you, and the other is a thing rising up over a ledge at you, but they trigger in very specific circumstances. I see. Day 30. So roughly 1 month's worth. This time I have no way out, so my only option is to go upstairs. Huh. This time it's not auto-animating me upstairs. Oh, okay. Well, we got a pagoda, we got a full moon. Not a bad view. I do notice there's somewhat of a gap in the railing here. Do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior? Guess she is not a fan of David Lynch. No sign of our friends the Ball brothers. Day 31. Down low. Too slow. Yeah, no, the clown vomit is in fact real. I see. So these maps are a lot more interconnected than I initially thought. There's a waterfall again. Our lovely violence district. Well, you know. Well. Are there keys in the ignition? That's the question. You know, I like this one a little better anyway. Well, I guess this is our starting line for the train. Oh. Hello, friends. About face! Alright. Back to our famous landmarks and monuments. Ooh, dum-dum. You want gum-gum. And we're back here again. I'm assuming any one of those could feasibly be the North Star. I don't have a compass on me, so we're just hazarding a guess here. When in doubt, follow the only fucking stars you can see. While practicing my tap dancing routine, apparently. Guessing is a hazard in this game. Well, what isn't a hazard in this game, Gaucher? If everything's a hazard, then you really have nothing else to lose. I am lasting a lot longer in this level. Maybe it's sheer fucking coincidence, but the fact that I am lasting as long as I am on the 31st day, as you were, friends. Land of the Rising Sun, etc., etc. Hey, buddy. Now, about that hacky sack game I was pitching. Well, we found ourselves smack dab in the middle yet again. Ah, my word. So, that's been 31 days of the original dreams. I'm curious to dip into the additional dreams. Well, right out the gate. Oh, so you've not seen these either, Cochet. Interesting. Haven't played this version. Oh, well, okay. So this is going to be a learning experience for both of us. Huh. Well. I mean, not to lean into tropes, but here we are pondering our orbs. Huh. I mean... I suppose the best way to find your way out of any maze is to just hug the wall. Are you anything? Ooh. Okay. Well, I appear to be trapped. Oh, so it gives me an entirely new board to check off. I suppose that would make sense. Well, nice little gaming setup here. Dual monitor with a laptop. Wow, that is an interesting effect. Well, there's that gamer setup again. Damn, they got the lazy boys and everything. Ah. Over the river and through the woods. Huh. See, this is just making me... Hello. It's just making me lament the fact that I have to wait an additional month or so for autumn. You know, I'm sure this is fine. I'm sure I have nothing to worry about in the swimming pool room with the killer is still on the loose music playing in the background. With the call is coming from inside the house core music. Swimming poople. That's fine. Everything's fine. I'm just on my paper route. Oh, damn, pager's going off. You know? Oh, look, friends, we found ourselves in the fucking bunker from Deltarune. John Carpenter's Halloween-ass paper route, right? Do you still have a pager? I never actually had a pager myself, but my father did have a BlackBerry. Like, at this point, I'm just half expecting Freddy Krueger to come walking out from one of these corners. Think you're lying. You were born in a black suit with a little pager and your meaty baby fists. How dare you call me Boss Baby on my own stream? How actually very dare you, Koshe? Oh, and look what you made me do. Man, I think that was the downerest downer we've ever come across yet. You know? You can learn a lot from the flowers. But then again, I think we can also learn a fair bit from the Blair fucking Witch. Which is where I feel like we might end up with this route. Oh, well, does this take me back the way it came? Well, that wasn't my intention. Fucking Alvin and the... No, you know what this is? This is dipped into fucking Rugrats territory with this music. Oh, ants. Now I feel like I'm just playing a lost level from fucking Chameleon Twist, only in first person. Yep. Back in the kennel again, I see. Crave that mineral. Well, from one brick wall to another. I think that's probably one of the better transitions between levels that we've gotten. Oh. Huh. You know? Just take this toy. No one's gonna miss it, I'm sure. You know, I was going to mention how some of this music was reminding me of Kevin MacLeod. Unfortunately, I just recently discovered that Kevin MacLeod has been exclusively using AI to make his music for the past 8 months. So, I probably should not be referencing him in the foreseeable future. Off I go. Well, you know, I would imagine that jumping into the pits of hell would be somewhat of a downer. Let's see here. You know? Guess those god beams were too strong. Oh, back here again. Uh-oh, back in the lab again. Oh, look, it's the literal black hole sun. Black hole sun, here she come. I don't know what it is specifically about first-person games that aren't shooters, that just have this inherent sort of eeriness about them. I suppose it says more about how I've been desensitized to the concept of first-person shooters than anything else on the game's merit. Yeah, no, Black Hole Sun is definitely a sort of haunting song in its own right. Like, the music video for it's a fucking trip as well. And I definitely heard something from over there. Well, yeah, let's see what's through here first. Oh, well. I'll avoid the bike this time. Oh, well. More uncharted territory. Huh. You know. Off through the brambles, as we do. Oh. This time... Huh. Gentlemen. Oh, don't mind me. You go about your business, I'll go about mine. See, because of the specific nature of these shadowy figures, it reminds me a little bit, and obviously it's not a one-to-one comparison, but it reminds me somewhat of the ghost train from, like, the last third of Spirited Away. Obviously, you know, completely different vibe, but just the nature of those, like, shadowy people on said train. Ah. We've made our way down to the fucking true laboratory in Undertale. Yeah, I was gonna say, these do look like EKG machines. Not helping my comparison. Wake up. Wake up. I love how this music here, it sounds like someone hiccuping with a harmonica in their mouth. Either that or sneezing or stubbing their toe. Let's see what's on TV. Ah, MTV Cribs. Typical. I do appreciate that because of the way, like, the various textures on the wall are sort of rendered. Like, whenever you simply look around, like, it gives you this warping, warbling feeling. And I appreciate that, because you would probably get something akin to that in a dream world. Like, I guess it raises the question. Like, if you enter the state of lucid dreaming, which is to say, dreaming where you're aware that you're dreaming, is it more likely that the dream is going to become more stable or start to fall apart under the condition of you being aware that this is essentially a figment of your own imagination? I haven't quite reached the nose just yet. Oh, hey, we're outside the cage this time. Alright, well, time to get a better look around. Maybe outside the cage, but I also feel like I'm being sort of drawn in a specific direction. Hello? Some kind of either generator or something. Yeah, no, let's take a look inside. Take a look. If it's in a book. Which I know aren't actually the lyrics, by the way. Yeah, even just in the trees themselves, there's a bit of warblage. Oh, well. Follow the bouncing balls. Like I said, chat, keep an eye out for those 8 pages. Hello? You know? Damn, I guess it's true what they say, green is not a creative color. Which I personally feel insulted by. Tag yourself, you're the chewed on yellow pencil. I mean, that absolutely tracks, Koshe. I mean, I suppose I'd be the mechanical pencil if it were present. They were waiting in the bushes for us. Huh. You know? Fair enough, I suppose. Oh, well, I guess this one was simply impassable. Oh, hello. You know what? As it just so happens, I have a previous engagement. And I suppose that exit was convenient. Day 9. Let's see. Any openings in this gate? Yes. Yeah, I guess so. The worst hell imaginable, suburbia. Suburbia and this specific apartment complex. Throwing up. You know? I mean, I have seen worse apartment interiors, Koshe. That said, these shelves are particularly rusty. Might want to do something about that. Don't want to necessarily get tetanus while I'm reaching for the Cheetos and Mountain Dew. Oh. Those are noises I am hearing. Are you coming from upstairs? Fucking biblically accurate making Christmas sounding ass. What if the neighbors know anything about this? Oh, I guess not. I know they really like plopping me down here in this fucking European neighborhood. I suppose this is like about as close to a more green pencil as we're gonna get. Oddly enough, you want to know what these forest levels remind me of? Huh. They kind of remind me of the Alice in Wonderland world from the first Kingdom Hearts. I think it's specifically because of how the trees are organized, as it were. Think you see what I mean? Yeah, I'm glad I'm not entirely alone in that. Just like clustered together in this fucking textured wall. I feel it's very much how the forest was handled with the Alice in Wonderland level in that game. Makes me think of the Blair Witch promo world that was interesting. See, I wasn't aware that they did anything video game related with the Blair Witch. And here we are again. Guess we are in the storage room. Oddly enough, this is reminding me of that one fucking... I forget what website it was on. If it was like on like just Google Earth or something. But I remember a bunch of pizza boxes. There was something very popular for like not even necessarily popular, just sort of infamous for a hot minute, where like there was an abandoned church that had been filled to the brim with like weird stocks of, I guess, rare items that I think had been either stolen from other providers or I guess, I forget what it was. Basically, they had purchased or rented out a church, and whoever it was had it stuffed to the brim, shelves upon shelves of like items that I think they were hoarding so they could sell on Craigslist or some shit. But a lot of those things they had gotten their hands on were illicitly obtained, as it were. And I guess a popular thing at the time was just going through essentially a specific website's equivalent of Google Maps and looking at the rows upon rows of fucking illicitly obtained goods in that church. I cannot for the life of it, because I'm pretty sure it was on its own unique website. Like, it wasn't just like a Google Maps or Google Earth thing. But, I hope some of this is at least ringing somewhat of a bell for those of you out there. Because, like, it was for at least a solid month or so that people were obsessing over just how stuffed to the brim this church was, and all of what was in there. Just appreciate the mahogany finish of this table. You know? When all else fails. Well, let's take a dip. Oh my god. Alright, Spamton, calm down. Jesus. Well, we're getting into some interesting territory here. Congratulations, you've won a free iPod Nano. Okay. I'm sensing a theme. Did my dumbass just go in a full circle? Hey, we finally got the nose. You know what? I can at least say I'm happy that we got smack dab in the middle there. We have, in fact, booped the snoot. So, honestly, I'd say that's about as good a place as any to finish for now. I mean, honestly, this turned out a lot more chill than I admittedly initially expected. And obviously, you can only interpret so much from a game like this, where it was... I mean, I don't even know how loosely it was based on this dream journal, but it was very much inspired by a dream journal, and given that dreams are very much products of sensory information and sensory stimuli on the individual level, we could all play armchair therapist forever and a day, trying to figure out what any of that means. But once again, some of the fun of media like this is that there is no one true interpretation. There is no correct answer, as it were. And honestly, that's kind of how a lot of media without any sort of clear, direct narrative should be interpreted. In my humble, not-so-popular opinion, as it were. Granted, there are series that do have a clear story to tell, even if they take some symbolic avenues through which to tell those stories. I mean, perfect example being Paranoia Agent. Satoshi Kon dabbled in a number of different stories very much like that. But yeah, no. Experimentalist media should be encouraged, even on the purest basic premise of we need new shit. We need new shit that doesn't bore us to death. Mediocrity is a clear sign of an infection when it comes to creative works and creative outlets. If we're seeing the same stale horse shit again and again and again, then something needs to be shaken the fuck up. Now, granted, any person could take this simple a premise and, I suppose, use it for quote-unquote evil. But that does bring me back to my earlier assertion that there is no such thing as objectively good or bad art. People can do objectively good or bad things, I feel. But art, in and of itself, cannot be objectively good or bad because of the inherent nature of art, which is that even art with a clear initial purpose will find new meaning and, I suppose, purpose through each and every individual interpretation thereof. I mean, it's like the whole classic story of a two-toned hat appearing monotone depending on how you look at it. All art made with sincerity and love is beautiful. In its own right, absolutely, Koshe. And even if I might not be the biggest fan of, say, Alejandro Jodorowsky's work, God, I guess I really am at the end of my rope for this stream. I may not like his movies too terribly much, however, I can respect the hell out of the fact that he will not compromise his creative vision for anyone or anything. We could have had a Dune movie made by Jodorowsky. We ended up not having a Dune movie because he refused to compromise his vision for any studio. But you know what we got because that movie never got made? We got the bullet dodging scene from Dune. Not Dune, fucking... I got distracted by lore in the other room. We got the bullet dodging scene from The Matrix. We got the lightsabers from Star Wars. We got the robot POV from Terminator. Pretty much every staple of modern cinematic sci-fi can more or less be traced back to Jodorowsky's screenplay for Dune. Once again, I don't necessarily condone the man himself or things that he has done or tried, but I can appreciate his place in cinematic history. And his work ethic, if nothing else. Anyway, with all that being said, I very much appreciate all of you taking the time to join me today through one of the, I suppose, loosier, goosier streams in terms of overall theming. I am very much looking forward to additional Wednesdays to get through additional academic subjects, because for the longest time I have wanted to use these streams. Well, I suppose it sounds sort of self-righteous to say I want to use this as a platform for education and teaching. I mean, those who cannot do, teach, after all. But I do want to encourage you to think about these subjects, as I often do as well. Even just on the basis of, oh yeah, I never really thought about that much before. Let me look into that on my own and come up with my own opinion. If I can accomplish that much with these Wednesday streams, then I am doing my job. Or at least setting out to do what I intended to do. So, until the next time, thank you all very much for tuning in. And until the next time... Jesus fucking Christ, I need to start drinking every time I say that. Always remember to fucking think.